Hi, dear students. Hope you're all doing well and preparing for the tests. I'm here to take a small portion on two kinds of leadership, transactional and transformational leadership. Okay, so here we go. First of all, uh, what is actually transactional leadership? What do you mean by transaction? This, in fact, was developed by Max Weber, a 20th century German sociologist. He made an extensive study of leadership styles and divided them into three categories: traditional, charismatic, rational, legal, or bureaucratic. In 1947, he was the first to describe that rational legal leadership as the style that would be known as transactional. So actually it was he, Max Weber. So this is Max Weber. He is the one who actually made this term called a transactional leadership. So what is this actually? What do you mean by this style of leadership? Let's quickly see. As you can see here, it is a leadership theory that is based on the idea that managers give employees something they want in exchange for getting something they want. Well, you may not have got that real idea, I'm sure. What this means is managers or leaders, they actually want to get a task done. So if they want to get the task done, what they will do is, okay, good, my dear friends, or good, I want to get this task done. If you do this, I'll reward you. But if you don't, well, then you can expect a punishment. That is what you mean by the essence of transactional leadership in simple terms. It posits that workers are not self-motivated and requires structure, instruction, and monitoring in order to complete the task correctly and on time. So that's what the essence of transactional leadership is all about. The main features. First one is contingent reward. Contingent reward means exchange of rewards for effort, like things like promotions, bonus for your good performance, additional perks or perquisites. So that's what I mean by contingent reward. Then the next one is management by exception, means enhancing existing organizational culture or maintaining the status quo rather than going for a radical change. So that means it is doing something or working something which is actually based on a policy of the management, a company which is, or the leaders or the managers working according to exactly the policies of the company. They will actually monitor how the work is actually progressing. Is it according to the policies framed? If there's any deviation, then they will interfere and take corrective measures. So that's what I mean by management by exception. So all in all, transactional leadership in simple terms, what it means is it happens through some kind of transactions. What do you mean by transaction? You give something, take something. So it's like some kind of an exchange, which involves a carrot stick approach. Carrot stick. You'll find this in the notes which I've given. What do you mean by carrot and stick here? Carrot means something that is sweet. If you do well, if you work well, you will be rewarded with something really good, attractive. But if you don't, then you had it. That's what I mean by stick. So this is what you actually mean by transactional leadership. Now, coming on to the next style, transformational. You can see some pictures here. And by this or through and seeing these pictures, you might have got some kind of clue about what this transformational leadership is all about. Who are these personalities? What have they done to the world? You can take a moment and think. On the extreme left, you can see Abraham Lincoln, then Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, and Jesus Christ. Why do we call them leaders? How did they become leaders actually? Let's take, for instance, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation. Why do we call him the father of our nation? That's because there were many freedom fighters in those days, many freedom fighters. But we do actually regard him as a pioneer in this. It's because he was the central figure in the freedom struggle, and he was able to attract a lot of people towards the freedom struggle, and he was able to lead them from the front. Thousands and thousands of people joined behind Mahatma Gandhi or joined under Mahatma Gandhi to fight against the British. And mind you, he never used any weapon. He never spoke about any bloodshed. But still, he was able to bring in thousands under him. So this is a kind of leadership which actually brings people together through the charisma of the leader. Another example which I would like to point out here is Jesus Christ. Now, what is so special about Jesus? You might tell, okay, he is a God of Christians. Agreed, that's true. But I'm not going to speak about his divinity or being a God. He is also known as a very effective transformational leader. In fact, Mahatma Gandhi actually was inspired a lot by Jesus. Even the person next to the picture of the person next to it, Mother Teresa, even she was inspired by Jesus, through the life of Jesus. So that's what you mean by transformational leadership. And who can forget his famous words? Love your enemies and pray for them. It is a doctrine or a teaching which nobody, to be precise, nobody has actually preached or practiced before him, even after him. As I mentioned, even Mahatma Gandhi, he was inspired by Jesus himself. The very doctrine of non-violence and ahimsa, he got inspiration from Jesus. And coming to Mother Teresa, I remember one of her famous sentences. Whenever she actually brings in the destitutes, or whenever she goes out and brings in the people into her charitable home, destitutes, there's one sentence which she always tells. Whenever I look into their eyes, I see Jesus in them. So that's what you mean by transformational leaders. Even Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, they were all good transformational leaders. I'm not going to in details. Abraham Lincoln led the struggle against slavery, and then Nelson Mandela, he actually fought for the rights of the Africans who were under the rule of the whites. Now then, what are the main features of this transformational leadership? Here, the leader transforms the thinking of the followers by instilling in them a sense of mission and excitement. And the leader relies on his or her charisma and energy rather than authority. That's the key thing here. As the word says, transforming people to transform. Instilling in a sense of mission and excitement, and through the charisma of the leader. The main features, the first one is inspiring vision. A good transformational leader is a person who actually inspires his followers, inspiring employees to look beyond their self-interest and brings in the big picture. I've cited some examples. Quit India and Satyagraha, which was introduced by whom? Mahatma Gandhi, exactly. So through these kind of movements, he was able to actually bring in the big picture of India getting freedom. That's why thousands of people, joined him in the freedom struggle. The next is intellectual stimulation. It motivates employees by challenging them intellectually to bring out their best. So a good transformational leader should be a motivator, a real motivator. Next is individual concern. A true transformation leader will actually appreciate the differences between the individual employees and treat each one accordingly, and he acts as a mentor. Very, very important. You need to have a good concern, real concern for your followers. Appreciate them when they achieve something, and find the differences between the followers or the employees and treat them each accordingly. And don't forget the most important thing, a good transformational leader is a good mentor. Mentor means helping your followers or your employees when they make mistakes, helping them to come out from that, developing them. So from this, what do you understand? These are actually two styles of leadership. One actually involves a system wherein you give rewards to the people who work under you. You work well, okay, I'm going to give you not just salary but bonus, additional perks, and so on. But if you don't do well, you are actually in danger of even being going out. That's what transactional leadership is all about. On the other hand, transformational leaders, the leader motivates and transforms the people. Now, my dear students, when you actually learn this, try and find out what kind of leadership you actually like to pursue when you join a company, when you actually go up in your career. It's very important to think about the different styles of leadership. These two styles actually suit different kind of situations. Okay, so I'm stopping here. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you.